Another day in the NBA, one more NBA slate to close out the week. It's been a good week of work here, but the work continues on for one more day here as we continue our process here on the Splash Play channel. We're going to dig in and compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, our friends over at Stokastic. We'll see the top plays are according to my data. According to them, we'll see the top value plays are. We'll also go game by game, check out the ownership, see who's going to be the chalk, where the leverage plays are along the way. We'll hop over to Stokastic, run a sim, though not sure if it's going to be updated because a lot of guys just got ruled out. But in this video, guys, you'll also know the industry's must plays along with my splash plays. Today's December 19th NBA slate. Let us get into it here. A chaotic time in between the NFL stream today that I did on the @Splash Play Pod channel premium stream. Then we got Joel Embiid ruled out. We got Trae Young ruled out. We got one more that I'm forgetting, and I had to update the minutes for all that stuff. So we're getting that update here live on stream. Of course, shout out to all you guys watching live here. It is another members only chat because that's been doing well lately, keeping my sanity. Shout out to you guys who are here live. And yeah, if we get to 2K subs during the stream, then, well, I mean, I don't know if that's a reward that you're going to cream your britches, but sure. And yes, we got a great basketball coming up here. It is, in fact, basketball. Let me make sure to retweet this on Twitter as well. Shout out to you guys that happen to watch the video. Again, we are dangerously close to the first 2K subs on here, so make sure to help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe. Even though I usually don't ask for likes and subscribes at the beginning of the video because like I feel like you got to earn it with what you do on the stream. So let's do that stuff, and then I'll earn the like hopefully. But we're so close, so let's keep it moving here. The top projected plays, and hopefully it was a good slate for you guys too. I know our guy Robert from the Turret, actually shout out to him. Did have, I believe, a top 50 finish yesterday in the big $4.20 max on DraftKings, which for a lot of people out there, that is the white whale they want to win. I've been lucky enough to win it a few times, including just a week and a half ago. But yesterday, I was feeling really good. I had a good Khalil Ware, Jalen Johnson lineup, two guys who you kind of needed to have that upside. But unfortunately, just ended up being petered out between Jackson Hayes, Anthony Black, and Colin Gillespie, I believe, were the guys that I had in my top lineup yesterday. But it was a good slate. Khalil Ware was really an important play that ended up coming up a lot for my data. And he's going to come up again today, guys, because Khalil Ware is way too cheap on the slate. The top projected plays right now, Jalen Johnson at number one. As I talked about in yesterday's video, he went nuts yesterday, and he also didn't lose a whole lot of opportunity because having Trae Young back in. Trae Young played only 20 minutes in that game. Today, Trae Young out. Maybe not a great spot on paper for Atlanta going against the Spurs. Spurs going to be a league average defense, a little bit better than that, I would say. Pace down as well for Atlanta. But Jalen Johnson is just a monster. He is really one of my favorite guys in basketball. He plays like guys. Well, no, that's not true. Now in NBA 2K, I have a big man who just shoots threes endlessly. So like he doesn't play like that, but he plays like I think you should play if you have the size, ability to, to do things like handle the ball, score from deep. He gets rebounds, he gets assists, he creates. He's really aggressive, driving, creating shots, getting his own shot. Just love him. He's a guy that I really thought looked good in his college data coming out of Duke, and he's been even better as a pro. That said, for Jalen Johnson here, 27% for the field. I'm at 57. It's a really big stand on Jalen Johnson again on a back-to-back after he just played about 40 minutes yesterday. And again, it's a tougher spot against the Spurs, who also are on a back-to-back. A lot of teams today on a back-to-back. But Jalen Johnson looks good again. I'm at a 56 projection. Stokastic has him at 51. As you guys know, if you follow the streams, and it's not a hot take, Jalen Johnson has been a popular play in my data whenever we get Porzingis out in particular. Porzingis still out, Trae Young out. And that price tag of 10K for Jalen Johnson, probably a little bit too cheap. I mean, real fast, just go through the solver because I do like their game-by-game game log view thing. Believe that Jalen Johnson has had 70 points in 5 out of his last 6 games, but I want to make sure to pull up the game log so we can be accurate about it. It's under my head. I'll go over here just for the sake of this bit. We got 75 or 76 fantasy points yesterday. He had 50 versus Philadelphia, 57 versus Detroit, 71, 75. So let's say 3 out of the last 5 games, 70 plus. And then the 2 in between, 50 to 60. So if he hits that 50 to 60, you're not being killed by it. If he hits 50, though, you probably lost other people on a slate would be my guess. Either way, though, Jalen Johnson, I think a good play no matter what with Trae Young out and Porzingis out. So I'll be there even if not quite the 57% I have right now with the field of 27. Jalen Johnson, he's on the thumbnail. He honestly not a great headshot for him. He should really get that figured out. Jalen Johnson, the man who makes 500K in NBA game, he said recently on one of his live streams, he looks great today. He's been a monster on the year for Boston. Usage rate hovering around 36%, 36.2, 1.35 fantasy points per minute, rebounding enough, a 26% assist rate, and you do get a pace up spot here going against Miami. In fact, massive pace up on paper because Boston usually playing about a 96 pace. Heat, of course, the fastest paced team in the league, about 104 and change. So should be adding a lot of possessions to Jaylen Brown. And then, much like yesterday for Brooklyn, where they played the Heat, a few guys had decent games there. It's on in Miami, so there's no temptation here for the South Beach flu for guys like Jaylen Brown. So getting that pace up, decent price tag at 9,500. Tyrese Maxey in Stokastic data, they did not take Embiid out yet. That ownership's going to come up for Maxey, but Jaylen Brown before the Philadelphia stuff, before all the stuff is going to change around data-wise. Jaylen Brown at 38%, I was getting 35. I think if I had to guess, Jaylen Brown for the field's now going to be like 25 to 33, and I'll be right with that 25 to 33, maybe a little bit higher when we get to lock. Tyrese Maxey, no Joel Embiid today. Still no Oubre, still no Watford. So Maxey should get the uptick and opportunity because of that. He is playing a Knicks team on a back-to-back, though a few of the key pieces did not play yesterday and seemingly will play today. But Maxey on the year, 30% usage rate, 31% assist rate, about dead even with that when you take Embiid and the guys off the court. Paul George is in. That does inhibit the upside a little bit for Maxey. Guy's been chucking a lot with a 26% usage rate and also a 20% assist rate to his credit. Paul George actually playing pretty well to start the year. So I say that, like, I want to see Maxey get the ball all he wants, but Paul George has actually been pretty good with the amount of opportunities taken away. But Maxey, I think a 5x value looks pretty good to me. He'll come up more in ownership for the field, but right now I have been a 48.3 projection, and Stokastic, with their data with Embiid in, had it about 43.4. Donovan Mitchell is a Q tag. If he is out, it is going to matter a lot for the slate because Darius Garland will be at that point mega chalk with Mobley already out for the Cavs. But Donovan Mitchell, if he does play, 11% for the field, I'm at 4. Not one of my most favorite plays in the world, but I do think at this point, ownership is going to congregate around Jalen Johnson, Jaylen Brown, and Tyrese Maxey. That'll make Mitchell, Giddey, more appealing plays at less ownership with similar ranges of outcomes. So Mitchell in his spot today for Cleveland. What is that total? Cleveland 123.5, Chicago 117. I mean, Cleveland has been running poorly. They could use a win at this point. It does feel like Mitchell asserting himself more here against a bad Bulls team that is also a pace-up spot, kind of the spot where you could see Mitchell hit that ceiling. But really the big thing is that I think you'll get a lot of ownership for these top three. When things update, Mitchell, I don't think quite as much. And then if Mitchell is out, any Cavs going to look really good. But Garland in particular would look good. Craig Porter Jr. would look good. Tyrese Proctor would be playable at that point. Actually, Lonzo, they would be the guy who would probably get the biggest bump right away. So it's a really important one to watch right now. We don't have an update yet on Donovan Mitchell's status. Josh Giddey, 10% for the field. I'm getting 6. Again, the top 3 plays really seem like more of the priority. But Giddey against Cleveland, we just saw him play well in this matchup. Triple-double, he's had more triple-doubles or the same amount of triple-doubles as Michael Jordan, I believe, was a stat floating around. Giddey's been great. Same thing here as it always is, and that's sort of a downside when you have a lot of players with situations where they're not fully priced for that. Jalen Brunson, a great last game at a cheap price tag with a lot of Knicks out. Now we get Josh Hart back in. We get Towns back in. It's not looking quite as good. Mitchell Robinson, I presume, also back in. So for the Knicks, really all playable, I suppose. But Brunson at 9K feels kind of expensive. It feels like it should have been 9K yesterday, and that would have made sense. And I still would have played him with about a 50-point projection on him. Today, he's a little bit underprojected because the Knicks are back to full health, it seems. Cat, 14% for the field. I'm at 4. 8,900 feels a little bit expensive for him relative to a 42.5 projection. Stokastic's projection a little bit higher for Towns today. And that's going to be the case for me when the Knicks are full strength and Mitchell Robinson is in. Robinson also lately playing a lot more minutes and playing pretty well when he's out there. Maybe not great for Towns, but certainly a big upside for Towns always. Kind of the same thing as Giddey, Donovan Mitchell, is Brunson and Towns. Like, you'll have a lot of Johnson, a lot of Jaylen Brown. I think a lot of Maxey played today. These guys less owned, and certainly they can score the same amount of points if things align the right way. Darius Garland, big rate increases like we've talked about last time the Cavs were on the slate for no Evan Mobley. Overall, expecting Garland in these situations to have about 1.14 fantasy points per minute on 33% usage and a 43% assist rate. And that's with some really bad shooting. Garland without Mobley and without, what's the second one? Whatever. Without Mobley in particular, 47% true shooting. So about, at least 11% of where we'd expect him to be with league average. Garland at this point, I think due for a monster game. If Mitchell is out, I think the odds of that are much higher. But Garland to me, 30% for the field. I'm at 41. He's chalky as it is, even for, a 4-game slate. But for Garland, I think he'll look like an absolute must-have smash play if you do get Mitchell out. So just keep that in mind. Wembanyama, still minutes limited here. Hard to get there to 10-7 salary result when you have good guys priced around 10K, as we talked about. But Wembanyama, 0 for the field. I'm getting 0. If he were to start, the minutes limit were lifted. We would know, we'd feel better about that. Coming off the bench, just not a guy to play, really. You have enough good plays here and enough pivots off those good plays as it is. Derek White, getting the big pace up, going against Miami here. Miami on a back-to-back as well. 38% for the field. I'm getting 23. Seems like more of a Jaylen Brown slate for me. But you're going to get Brown. You're going to get White. You're going to get Pritchard. You're going to get a lot of Celtics today because that pace-up spot, creating 9 extra possessions or so is like a pretty big jump up. So the guys will all project better as a result. And they're all priced pretty reasonably for the spot going against Miami on a back-to-back. And then we got Okongwu here. So data not updated for Trae Young out on Stokastic side. I think Okongwu's ownership will come up when that updates. But right now I'm getting Okongwu at 12%, field at 10. I think Okongwu looks good. We got no Porzingis, no Trae Young. Okongwu probably going to play around 33 to 35 minutes. Spot for Atlanta today, a little bit tough, versus San Antonio on paper. But Okongwu has honestly played up to competition. I think he might, I would say, get off. He's going to be it's so hot for him to go against Wemby. He might really embrace the competition more against Wemby today. That's the thing that's, anecdotal on my end, but I do feel like Okongwu will rise to these occasions more than you would realize. And certainly too, with the ownership going to Jalen Johnson, if Okongwu has a great day, that does sort of pull away from Johnson and what his production would be. Let's sort by value here, guys. Key part of the process coming up next. Of course, before we get all through the top values, please do help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe. You guys know the deal here. I'm just one dude showing you my gambling. And yes, sometimes it might seem like there's a team of 10 people directing me, people in my earpiece saying, hey, here's what you say, Spags. But no, this is all just my beautiful brain, my beautiful, let's say coked out, even though I've only done coke twice. my beautiful mind here that I give to you guys every day here. I love what I do. I love the NBA DFS process in particular. NFL DFS, same thing. A lot more volatility there. But hopefully it shines through here. And if you are here Monday to Friday at 2 p.m., when I do these live streams, you will be in good hands. So please do hit that like button. Please subscribe. And even if you're going to fade everything I say here, I think you'll get value out of the video. And of course, check out Stokastic too. Their data updating as the day goes on. Certainly right now, a lot of guys that are injured are still in their data set. So that's going to have to change, but it will change. And when they do update, they'll be one of the best market leaders you can find out there. Again, if you want to use my projections, that's great. If you want something idiot proof and you want something that's going to give you good lineups without a lot of work, Stokastic is it. So join down below, get 15% off all the cheap packages, all the expensive packages, weekly, monthly, all 15% off with the promo code SPLASH. If you click the link down below and then use the promo code SPLASH, you got to use the promo code. And last but not least, join the channel here. $5 to join if you want to join as a supporter and get into the live chats here. Of course, the show now, we're trying to keep streamlined during the live chat portion of things because so many of you guys watch after the fact, and I want to make sure the video is good for you guys when you do watch after the live airing of things. But join the channel. Squirt Squad tier, I think, is a good one for a lot of you guys. It's $25 a month. And you get the matchup screen I show you here. If you want my exportable projections, you know how to use CSVs and stuff. VIP tier might be good for you if you're a more advanced player. But if you are somebody that wants to see data, build your own lineups around that, go join the $25 Squirt Squad tier. And you can see this particular screen here updated throughout the night. All my data. So there you go. Not the Stokastic ownership, though, because that's not my stuff. All right. Got a lot of Johnson. Thank you for that. And the love shines through the beautiful conditional formatting. That's true. This is what love looks like. Khalil Ware, top value for me as a result. So he's 4,700. And Ware, I got a lot of yesterday, in part because basically, his minutes were there as a starter, but no Hero, no Jovic. That basically clears the way for Khalil Ware to play a lot. And he didn't play a lot versus Brooklyn yesterday. Played 30 minutes. Today, he's got 28 minutes. In my data here, it's a tougher matchup against Boston. A team that's also going to hit a lot more shots. So less theoretical rebound opportunities for Ware. But he's been good, man. This year, I think he's taken a leap. Miami overall, And I think part of the reason too I never get Bam Adebayo is because Ware is like playing pretty well in the air, but 17% usage, 21% rebound rate, 1.2 fantasy points a minute. If you want to be down to the decimal, it's 1.23, which is higher than Bam Adebayo's 1.21. In fact, Khalil Ware, your best fantasy per minute producer on the team right now. So for Khalil Ware, I think he's in another good spot here on paper relative to the minutes. He is going against Boston, foul trouble could loom, stuff like that. For Ware, though he's not really a big foul guy. He seems like he should be, but he's not. That price tag at 4,700 is too cheap. Right now, we don't really have value on the slate that stands out meaningfully. So where is the value at 4,700? I don't think he's in every lineup play, but he looks like a huge value for me at 7.2x. But I think Stokastic's minutes will make him probably come down a little bit in my projection when I pull theirs in. Drew Smith, another guy who should be getting more minutes today. Played, I think, 20 and change yesterday. And real fast, we could look at the Miami popcorn machine because the situation yesterday is going to be pretty similar to what they have today. And it actually might get even shorter handed because Andrew Wiggins is a Q tag right now. But Drew Smith yesterday played 24 minutes, so safely could assume he'll play like 20 again today. You can see Khalil Ware played 30, Davion Mitchell 30, Wiggins 33, Bam Adebayo 31, and he didn't close, which he might have fouled out. Because he had 5 fouls early, and I think this must have been 6. But Khalil Ware did close. And Norm Powell played 33 minutes. So they all played pretty good minutes last time out for Miami. I think really the big thing for me with Miami is at this point, no Hero, no Jovic. You do have the European guy, Kasparis Yakushionis. I don't know. I've not heard his name said in a broadcast yet. That guy is now available too as a guard. So maybe he could start to take more minutes away from a guy like Drew Smith. But as it is, Miami a little bit shorthanded. Drew Smith coming up as a result. 17% ownership for me right now. Fields at 4. Jalen Johnson, despite being 10K, looks like a top value for me. That's why he's making so many lineups for me. Certainly, though, at that projection back-to-back, it can be a little bit tough for Jalen Johnson to hit. So, look, I think the field's going to be there. I'm going to be there. But definitely the back-to-back part of it. If you get a game closer to the 55 fantasy points, don't be shocked as opposed to the 70 we've been getting pretty reliably lately. I don't believe it's Jack Mayanus, but I appreciate the sentiment. We got Darius Garland again looking good as a top value here despite being 7,200. Really the big takeaway here is that we don't have any great actual value on the slate right now. So Khalil Ware, Drew Smith, Dylan Harper coming up a good amount as a result. Dylan Harper, of course, paid off big time versus Washington yesterday as mega chalk. But Peyton Pritchard, Darius Garland, 2 guys here. Pritchard is going to look the same way no matter what. Garland, though, stands a chance of looking like an absolute must-have play. If Mitchell is out, I think Garland at that point is if not a lock button, about as close to a lock button as a $7,200 guy can be. Peyton Pritchard, not an exciting play, but at his price tag with the matchup, getting a ton of possessions, he comes up here at 6,500. Jared Allen gets a boost overall from not having Evan Mobley out there. If Mitchell is out, it will look better for Allen as well because there's just so many points and opportunities to go around for Cleveland. But Jared Allen at this point, 22% ownership for the field. I'm at 22. He'll look a lot better if Mitchell comes out. Neemias Queta, Fields at 34. I'm at 27. You're getting Miami on the back-to-back. You'll also get to be around the rim because of guys like Ware and Bam. So maybe Queta can hit that upside. He's averaging 1.04 fantasy points a minute, which is fine. Yeah, I don't know. I really never feel for Queta. If he comes up, I play him. If he doesn't come up, I'm like, oh, I probably don't even think of him. But I think Queta's playing reliable enough minutes. He's your clear starting center. But nothing that great here. Jaylen Brown Fields at 38. I'm at 35. Again, I think that number is going to come down because Maxi's going to take some, but Jaylen Brown and Maxi, 2 very good plays, though not quite as good as Jalen Johnson, it looks like. Paul George, I'm at 31%, Fields at 14. Getting the uptick in opportunity from no Joel Embiid makes him look good. Paul George producing about 1.2 fantasy points minute on the year. Like we talked about before, he's playing well. The minutes are now stable for him. When he is in, he takes away some opportunity from the second tier guys, your Grimeses, your Edgecombs, your Jared McCains especially. But he and Maxi, your 1-2 punch with no Embiid. So, they're both worth playing. Alexander Walker getting some uptick as well. Shooting guard, small forward. We got 17.5% ownership for the field. I'm at 33. That is because my data reflects Trae Young being out. The market data from Stokastic does not yet. But Alexander Walker, more secure minutes, and he's shooting guard, small forward. And again, certainly if you see Jalen Johnson fail his mega chalk, Alexander Walker scoring more, maybe more ISO shots, not creating the assists for Jalen Johnson and taking points away. That can happen. Okongwu will lever sort of against Jalen Johnson, the rebounding, the scoring as well. That's the way to think about it for these guys, but they all look like good plays because they're not quite priced for a situation with no Trae Young and no Porzingis. And Dylan Harper fields at 47%. I'm at 39. Such a dummy for fading Harper. My best lineup did not include Harper, so he was owned enough that I think you could have worked around it. And you know, I had Tyler Kolek in 60% of my lineups yesterday, so that helped not having Harper as well. But, you know, like you don't always have to take the mega chalk play. I thought that he would play well, but I thought maybe he'd top out around 30 fantasy points. I think he put up like 35 or something. He's good, man. He's really good. So that's the downside. But, you know, Fields had 47% on Harper today. I'm a little bit under. I think Harper is one of those players where I would love him if he were starting every game because he's like a better version of a Jeremiah Fears, better shooter, does a little bit more of everything. But, you know, he's playing behind Castle, playing behind Fox. Those two guys did not hit anywhere close. That's their ceilings yesterday in a game where we did see Harper hit his. That's sort of the push-pull dynamic that happens with statistical production. I think if Harper is going to be this owned, I just think playing Fox, playing Castle might be the move. But I still like Dylan Harper, but that's a lot of ownership for Dylan Harper. We're going to go game by game view here, guys. And we got Tyler Kolek as replaced Peyton Pritchard as my new favorite exciting white. He's really good, man. Like he's, you know, it's small sample size stuff too. And like Colin Gillespie was similarly good when he had the small sample size. You know, now you have Devin Booker in and he's not quite the same guy, even though he ended up being okay yesterday. I think that's what would happen with Kolek, but he's producing really well. He shoots well. He, you know, he plays pretty hard defense out there. He doesn't seem like a total, you know, turnstile. So I've enjoyed watching Tyler Kolek, but like his real upside is like he starts, Brunson's out, and then it's like, you know, then he might actually go nuts. Philadelphia, 111.5 implied points. New York, 118 implied points here. Again, Paul George, the only one really coming up, but this is mostly because of the fact that like, because Embiid was in, he was really the only one I think that was coming up in Stokastic data. Now with Embiid out, the sim will boost up Maxey more, boost up George more, boost up Grimes and Edgecombe getting into more lineups. But as it is, Paul George is the only one coming up. I had him in about a third of my lineups. I imagine that might come up a little bit more when things sort of all matriculate. But Maxey is going to be a pretty good play. I still think worse than Jaylen Brown, but right there with him, really. And Grimes and Edgecombe still not really plays to me here. Drummond, last time that he played, he just straight up split minutes with Adem Bona, played about 25. Bona played 23. Today I gave Drummond 28, Bona 15. I think it's probably a pure 48-minute split of center minutes between those two. You know, Drummond can play mid-30s, but there's no guarantee he does. And the last time that Embiid was out, like them splitting, I think was not a great sign for Drummond. But it's kind of like a hot hand backfield thing for like a running back in the NFL. That's, I think, if Drummond plays well, I think he plays 35 minutes potentially. If he doesn't play well, they'll put Bona out there, and he's a much better defender. New York, with their 118 implied points, don't think much is going to move around here. The fact they're full health at this point, don't think they look very appealing. Anunoby, a guy that we've hit on so many times lately, did not have him a ton last time out, and now, I mean, actually, well, you know, whatever. For Anunoby, though, he's hit enough times for us lately when I have been like really extolling the virtues of him. At 7,200 with all these guys in, there really is not a reason to go nuts about OG Anunoby at this point. Towns, power forward center, he certainly has the ceiling. Brunson also has the ceiling. But there's going to be better plays in the slate. So not a bad total for the Knicks, not a bad matchup for the Knicks, but definitely nothing special here with everybody back in at this point. Miami, 111 implied points. Boston, 117.5. Bam Adebayo, 6%. I'm at 0. He really just has not been doing enough this year. Hero out, doesn't really make his rates increase either. So Bam Adebayo, just a play I'm never really on, and it really hasn't hurt me, so it's not going to change at this point until he starts putting up some better games this year. Norm Powell fields at 15%. I'm at 18. And this is also one, too, where they had Hero in the data set. Hero is not available now. So all these guys are going to come up pretty meaningfully in Stokastic data. But Powell, Andrew Wiggins, both going to look a little bit better. Powell, though, definitely a better play compared to how Wiggins has played this year. Powell putting up 1.16 fantasy points a minute, which you can see over here. Wiggins at 0.92. Wiggins definitely need to shoot better, but like the usage is much higher for Powell. Assist rate's a little bit higher for Powell. Powell's been the better player between the two. But if Wiggins is out, more Fontecchio, I guess. Maybe Myron Gardner gets in the rotation, and he's been kind of a monster producer, though he's also shot unsustainably well. Lot to watch out for Miami, and worth pointing out to the Miami game today, because we do need to know about Wiggins in particular. 7 o'clock start time, and the other two games on the DK slate, 7:30 start times. So you'll know everything you need to know within that first half hour of things tipping off today. Boston, 117.5 implied points, again, gaining a lot of possessions. The total reflects it as well, with Boston getting about this 117.5 implied points. Jaylen Brown, a little bit under on. Derek White, a little bit under on. These guys are 38% owned. Peyton Pritchard, 42% for the field. I'm at 38. Kata, 34% for the field. I'm at 27. Jordan Walsh, he's playing well enough. 33.7% for the field. I'm at 33. Sort of it, though. Simon's not really in the rotation enough to want to get to, I don't think. Josh Minot going to be available. His spot is kind of shifted down the rotation as well. Yeah, your key Celtics are it. Like, your key rotational guys look good. Everybody else, I think you would need something weird to happen minutes-wise. But it seems like that top 5 is like locked into their spots at this point. It used to be a thing where like Minot maybe could earn minutes more. I don't think that's the case anymore. Like Hugo Gonzalez had earned minutes at points. But really, the top 5 looks good. It's a big pace up. Like, I mean, look at that. 95.6 compared to 104.3. Just massive. San Antonio, 121.5 implied points. Atlanta, 118 implied points. Wemby, unplayable. If he's going to play about 24, 25 minutes. If he gets to 30, we're back in the hunt a little bit. But I still don't really love Wemby when you have Fox, Castle, Vassell, Harper, the whole gang in. It's a lot of usage that's not going Wemby's way. So yeah, Wemby, I don't think an option at all. Fox, not really crazy about. Castle hit on him with the NBA Cup. Then we hopped off the train today. Not really on it very much, getting 14%. The field's at 13. Devin Vassell, the field's at 28. I'm at 16. He's playing good minutes. He's 5,300, but you have a lot of guys that should get shots up, instead of him. Dylan Harper off the bench will get a ton of opportunity when he does that, but unfortunately he needs to play minutes alongside the starters to hit his true ceiling. At 4,800, you're not playing Washington today, but you are playing another team that's not a great defense and is technically a pace up. So I don't mind Harper, but it's a lot of ownership going his way. And Cornette, fields at 23%. I'm getting 9. You'll get some Spurs pieces, I guess. I don't think Harper deserves to be mega chalk, but like he projects well. Like I have him at 24.6. Stokastic has him at 25.4. I'm a little bit surprised I'm lower on him than they are, because usually I feel like my data favors rookies who've played well in a short sample size. But it's a lot of ownership for a guy that's like playing off the bench still. Like I know he's hit now NBA Cup night when we had a showdown slate, getting hit versus Washington yesterday. Don't think that means we have to keep chasing him over and over again, but 4,000 is a little bit too cheap for what he's been doing. Atlanta, 118 implied points. No Trae Young here. Still no Porzingis. Looking at experts evaluating him for his illness going on. I don't know what's going on there. He's also in trade rumors. I don't know how you trade for him at this point either. But Jalen Johnson gets the big uptick here because having no Porzingis, no Trae Young. I would have him at a 55.9 projection. So Stokastic has him at 51. As a result, getting him at 57%, fields at 27. Rest of the Hawks will come up in ownership. Again, it hasn't reflected yet that Trae Young is out in Stokastic data. But Okongwu, I think, will look the best. Alexander Walker will be looking a little bit better because he's cheaper. Okongwu, though, will look comparably good. Dyson Daniels will look playable, though I don't think as good as the other guys. Okay, so to be clear, something's flashing behind me, right? Like I'm not going insane. Like, what the fuck? Okay, that's tripping me out. What is blinking behind me? Anyway, I'm gonna just focus in on what we're doing here. Hopefully, not a ghost doesn't murder me on stream. That it probably would be good for views. Not good for me having a good NBA DFS slate. Alexander Walker, though, I think going to become much chalkier. Dyson Daniels, Okongwu, going to come up a little bit. But Jalen Johnson, Alexander Walker, going to be your priority plays here, I think. And Vic Krejci, maybe a value option, but not really for me, I don't think. Chicago, 117 implied points here. Cleveland, 123.5. Donovan Mitchell's Q tag is a big one we need to know. And I think we have Desunu on a Q tag as well. Don't really care that much about that. But let me just make sure here, because we like to be accurate if we can be. Let's see. We got a Desunu probable now. And only the shitty guys out. So, okay. Yeah, for Chicago here, Giddey always has the tournament upside. Kobe White's playing well enough. I think these guys are okay plays. Definitely not super well projected priority plays by any stretch. Vucevic, I've not bid on. I think he played well last time out. He's getting cheaper at 6,600. But you have two big men that he's sharing minutes with Jalen Smith and Zach Collins. So he's not guaranteed endless run like he used to be. Everybody else in Chicago, not super exciting. Kevin Huerter has a semi-value at 4,400 and shooting guard small forward. Okay. Okoro at 3,500 and small forward. Okay. But nothing special here. In Cleveland, if Mitchell is in, he's an interesting tournament pivot for some of the higher owned guys in that $9,500 to $10K range. That said, Mitchell does project the worst out of that group for me. Garland looks good as it is. 7,200 a little bit cheap, too cheap for the situation. Without Mobley, Garland also desperately due to shoot better at 49% true shooting. But, you know, whether that happens today or not, it certainly should happen against teams like Chicago. But really for Garland, he's a good play now. He will be massively better if Donovan Mitchell is out. Jalen Tyson will look playable, I think, if Mitchell is out. Jared Allen will look a lot better. Hunter coming off the bench now. Not sure if that changes the situation too much, but he'll look a little bit better. Lonzo presumably would start. He would look better. Craig Porter Jr. off the bench. He would look better. Mitchell is just such a usage hog. I mean, he projects for 31 points, and he's good too. It's like he's shooting well. He deserves the usage he gets. But like he just takes so many possessions away. 33% usage, 28% assist rate. It's even higher. It's like 40% usage without Mobley on the court. It's going to free up so many possessions. So really important one to know here. Again, 7:30 tip-off time for Cleveland, Chicago. You want to have the ability to swap around for that, and you should. But most important thing on the slate by far. In Oklahoma City and Minnesota, I fucked this up. For you FanDuel chumps, hold on. Let me just quickly try to pop this in. Basically, I have to manually change Oklahoma City or Oklahoma City to Oklahoma City every time they're on a slate. I probably could find a way to do a workaround at this point, but I have not. So that's why we got to do this. There we go. There it updates. It updates that fast, by the way, guys, when I update my data throughout the day. So keep that in mind if you are paying for the projections down below. But here again, late slate / FanDuel slate, SGA, okay. Jalen Williams, no why, okay. Hartenstein back in, makes everybody appropriately priced at best. Minnesota on their side, looks like Anthony Edwards is going to play as he's recovering from injury management. I don't know what's going on there. But Edwards, if he is in, nobody looks that good. To me, Randall, borderline unplayable. Edwards, mostly unplayable. Naz Reid, not priced where he should be. DiVincenzo, not priced where he should be. McDaniels and Gobert, fine. But really, these guys are not ready price tag-wise to have Anthony Edwards back in, and it looks like he's going to be back in today. That's how that looks here. Let's see if Stokastic has updated, because that would be Soups helpful. And I never say Soups, but in this case, it would be Soups helpful. They have not updated yet. So this is going to be data that still includes Trae Young, still includes Joel Embiid, still includes Tyler Hero. But we're going to run the sims here and see what we get. And we will eschew the single lineup sim because I don't think there's a point in me building a lineup here given how much things are going to move. This is going to be the last stage of our journey, guys. So you'll still get my splash plays for the day coming up in a little bit. Before we get to the sim point of things, though, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It goes a long way for me here. I'm just one guy doing the best I can to show you my gambling for the day and how I view the slate. But ultimately, you guys should spend your money how you want. Be as smart about it as you can. And hopefully, if nothing else, you get, the work that goes in to hopefully be prepared and ready for these slates when you watch the show on Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. So please help me out. Hit that like button. Please subscribe. It does go a long way for me here, fighting that YouTube algorithm, which is, it's always a battle to make sure you're seen by enough people and can monetize it accordingly. And also join Stokastic with 15% off. Use that promo code SPLASH down below, and you get that money off right now. We're back up and running out there. Shout out to the guys, Splash Bets channel over on their tails for giving me the promo code back. The promo code SPLASH over there, 15% off any package you want, weekly, monthly, cheap, expensive. It is all 15% off. And of course, these sims will update, data will update with the guys that are relevant to the slate. And you want to see that when it happens. So go join for yourself. Use the promo code SPLASH. And of course, my data matchup sheet for you guys on the Squirt Squad tier. But if you want to join as a supporter, just $5 down below, and you can be on the Discord, and you can be in the mix, be in the live chat, and live in the dream is what we say here. All right, top ROI lineups: Derek White, Dylan Harper, Norm Powell, Cat, Cornette, Peyton Pritchard, Josh Minot, and Okongwu. Interesting to see Okongwu in here, given the fact that we still had Trae Young in the data, and Okongwu did not project super well. So again, I do expect Okongwu to come up a lot more now. With the data eventually updating for no Trae Young. But Okongwu looks good. This lineup, still a valid lineup. This one isn't beating it, so let's skip over it. He is no longer available. This lineup, we got Anthony Simons, Derek White, DeAndre Hunter, Karl-Anthony Towns, Neemias Queta, Stephon Castle, Jordan Walsh, Jared Allen, all still valid plays here. Definitely none of the affected improved value that's out there, but still guys that all look good. Number 4, Derek White, Josh Hart, DeAndre Hunter, Jordan Walsh again, Nemius Queta again, Peyton Pritchard again, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle again. My boy Castle making these lineups. Yeah, this stuff's all going to move, but these lineups still valid, in terms of they shouldn't be much worse for anything that's happened so far in terms of guys getting ruled out. Number 5, you have Peyton Pritchard, Kobe White again, or not again, Kobe White, Zachary Rizache, Cat again, Queta again, Jalen Brunson, Jordan Walsh again. A lot of Jordan Walsh and Luke Cornett. Yeah, the Walsh upside recently, like the minutes are there now. It still seems a little bit flighty to me, but definitely, he's played well enough lately. Your top ROI players, again, with the data needing an update, but still guys that are still going to be good enough plays. Stephon Castle, DeAndre Hunter, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Minot. Khalil Ware is only going to look better with Hero being added to the guys who are out for today, and also potentially Andrew Wiggins. But these guys, think all mostly unaffected by the injuries besides Ware, who should look incrementally better at 4,700. It's way too cheap for Ware, especially coming off like a 50 fantasy point day. Like Ware is going to be a popular play for the box score chasers, a popular play for the data people. It's just too cheap of a price tag. Even going against Boston, which is a tougher matchup than Brooklyn for sure. Highest exposed players, Peyton Pritchard, 57%, Fields at 40. That's again that pace up for the Celtics. One of the biggest pace ups in the NBA, given the difference of how slow Boston is playing versus how fast Miami is. Derek White, 53% exposure, Fields at 38. So a big stand on those two Boston guys. Nemius Queta at 51%, Stokastic's top 150, Fields at 35. Big stand in favor of Queta. Dylan Harper, basically with the field, 47% exposure, and the Fields at 46. Khalil Ware, 45% exposure, and the Fields at 25. Again, it's only going to go up for having no Tyler Hero. Minutes get a little more secure for Ware. But really the big thing is like not having Jovic in there. That was his big minutes squeeze, and that's not squeezing him anymore. And Jordan Walsh, not too far behind. Most positively leveraged plays before all the injuries, move the data around. Stephon Castle, they had 38% exposure in the Fields at 14. So big stand on Stephon Castle with a lot of the field going to play Dylan Harper. Khalil Ware, 19% leverage. Again, only going to look better with Miami's guys getting rotation a little bit shorter and potentially getting even shorter with Wiggins. Peyton Pritchard, 16% leverage. Nemius Queta, 15. Karl Anthony Towns, 15.3% leverage. He's in about a third of Stokastic's top 150 lineups. Derek White and Josh Minot not too far behind. Boston guys, though, the possession shift in that game, if Miami ends up playing slower and Boston just doesn't rush their possessions, it's going to really reflect poorly on the projections, I think. But, that's not how pace works, because, like, your assumption is that, like, even if Boston does play its normal pace, you end up meeting somewhere in the middle, like, so you would end up at 100 or something instead of, the 104 Miami's playing at pace-wise. But, it's possible that Boston just forces them to play their game on a back-to-back, too. Like, you never know. Negative leverage play is Darius Garland. Big fade by Stokastic. My data loves him. And as I mentioned, if Mitchell is in, I think it's going to be everybody loves him no matter what. But right now, Garland, 16% exposure, Fields at 30. I think the matchup with Chicago and no Mobley, I would definitely be up on Garland, and I will be. Lonzo Ball, negative 14% leverage. Don't think he's a great play if Donovan Mitchell is in. If Mitchell is out, he'll be a much better play at 4,700, but only 8% exposure, negative 14% leverage in Stokastic's top 150. Davion Mitchell, negative 13% leverage. He'll look a little bit better without Hero, though the minutes shouldn't change too much. Jared Allen, negative 11% leverage. Big fade on the Cleveland secondary pieces here. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a negative 9% leverage. That's going to change as well because Stokastic still has Trae Young in the data set, so that's not all the way there. But there we go, guys. That's a 4-game slate. Again, not going to do this. Okay, well, should I just try the single lineup sim? I feel like I've gone like so fast here that we could just try it. Let's try it. Again, it's not going to be where it should be relative to what the slate is now looking like, but I'll try to do a build here so you guys can get a read on how I would build, knowing what I know now. So let's do that. Let me just sort the stuff here so I can make a lineup positionally. All right. Point guard for me is Darius Garland. The sim hates him, but I like him. So he is my first guy in here. Shooting guard, Dylan Harper, Alexander Walker, who does look a lot better with no Trae Young. Again, I'm playing the guys that are still gonna look like a good play. Stokastic will not approve of Alexander Walker quite as much. He's also small forward. I could play him there, but I'll play him at shooting guard for now. Let's go Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, one of my top guys in the slate. Happy to be there again. I am just gonna be frustrated when the sim tells me my lineup sucks, but we'll try it. Power forward, can we get in Jalen Johnson too? Let's see. Jalen Johnson leaves us 4,100 left for our last 4 spots. So we need a real cheap center here. Khalil Ware is cheap enough. We're still going to have to save some money. Khalil Ware is 4,700. We could use a cheap guard. Drew Smith is a cheap guard who does look better with Tyler Hero out. In Stokastic's data, though, he's not going to look that good because Tyler Hero is in the data set. So that's not going to be good in terms of our sim ROI. But we got 4K left for our last 2 spots. We need a 4K forward. And there are not a lot of them. Kevin Huerter would be, I think, the best pick. And that leaves us 3,600. Thomas Bryant, Zach Collins, Huck Porty. Let me sort by value and see if we can get off Huerter. I don't see any way this is going to sim well. But, you know, when you commit to doing something, how you do anything is how you do everything. That's what I always, it's an expression that I really wish I could live up to. And I certainly do not. All right. Let's take out all these fuckers. Drew Smith, gone. Who would be my top value at guard? My top value at guard would be Drew Smith. But let's try Dylan Harper. Spend a little more money on Harper. Oh, not at utility. Let's put him at guard. Oh, also, do you guys at home? I don't know if you're at home. You guys watching this? Do you know that Dylan Harper is Ron Harper's son? Because I didn't know that, and I've actually I've liked Dylan Harper a lot. He was one of my favorite college guys coming out. Obviously, he was also a top pick, not really a brave take. But I didn't know he was Ron Harper's kid. I knew Ron Harper Jr. was Ron Harper's kid. I did not know Dylan Harper was Ron Harper's child. He's honestly so much better than Ron Harper was. In terms of at least what I think analytically sound basketball is. We got 3,200 left for one more spot, and it's awful. Asa Newell will be playable, I think, when Stokastic updates. As it is, he's probably not a great play. This lineup that we jammed in a lot of the guys I like. Darius Garland, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Johnson, Khalil Ware, Dylan Harper, and then Asa Newell and Drew Smith, and Stokastic does not like the way I approached that. Right here. Stokastic, you go ahead. You complete the lineup. Here's 3 spots. All right, it puts in Dylan Harper, Josh Minot, and Thomas Bryant. With my Garland, Alexander Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Johnson, Khalil Ware. All right, cool. We'll take it. 18% ROI, and that ROI will only get better when they update their data. Though Minot and Bryant will not really be plays that matter too much, if I had to guess. But there we go. That's the slate, guys. So 4-gamer today, closing out the week strong. This is going to be my last NBA video for the week, including no live before lock tomorrow because I'm doing a family dinner with my wife's family. So will not be available for that one. I'll try to update projections before we go out, but I can't be online because I'll be at dinner. So just FYI for people that are paying tomorrow. Usually you get them on Saturdays. Not the case tomorrow. That said, please do make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you guys my splash plays for the day in a moment. But of course, it means a lot for me when you guys hit that like button and subscribe because it helps me stay ahead of YouTube's algorithm. And basically, the more you hit the like button, the more it shows the video to people that are like you. And hopefully people like you are pretty cool. That's what I'm hoping. So hit the like button, subscribe. And of course, I'm here Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. You can get similar content here and see what I'm doing, if nothing else. And you can do whatever you want with that information. Check out Stokastic too, 15% off, promo code SPLASH, link down below, or just use the promo code over there. Just go yourself. All the cheap packages, all the expensive packages, it is 15% off now. And it is their new interface all set up to go. So go check it out. Get the 15% off with the promo code SPLASH. And last but not least, $5 to join here. If you join the channel as a supporter, you get access to the Discord as well and the live chats here during the streams. But also, if you want my data, join one of the Squirt Squad tiers. For a lot of you guys, I'd recommend the $25 tier so you can see my projections as they update along with some of the key stats. But if you want the exportable projections, you know how to use CSVs, get those as well. If you're an advanced player, use the VIP package and you get my projections. All right, splash plays for the day. I think Khalil Ware has to be one. Again, he was in almost every line but mine, so that's pretty obvious. I still think Jalen Johnson is one, though he's going to be mega chalk. So that is what it is. I'll be above the field on Paul George. I think he'll project better for me than Stokastic. Jalen Brown, I don't know if that's really a splash play, but I'll be at least playing him in a lot of lineups, if not, above the field meaningfully. Darius Garland, if he is in, if it's as is, Darius Garland, especially if Mitchell is out. Alexander Walker, I think I might have, did I say him already? I don't know if I did. But he's definitely one too. But a lot of stuff to keep an eye on, guys. The slate's going to move around. That's always how it goes here. So make sure to pay attention as we get closer to lock. All the games 7 and 7:30, so you'll know stuff when you need to know. Make sure to gamble responsibly, guys, even though it is always money time here on this channel. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the channel on YouTube at SplashPlayBets. On Twitter at SplashPlayPod. We'll show you all my NBA and NFL content. Speaking of NFL, if you want to see my takes for NFL Week 16, you can check out the at SplashPlayPod channel on YouTube. You can see the video I did this morning. Very similar process for the NBA, except I don't create my own projections, but I show you guys Stokastics data and ETR's data as part of that process, so do check it out. And yeah, hope to see you guys again soon. If you guys are off for the holidays for whatever reason, hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, Silly Festivus, whatever. But I appreciate all you guys being here this holiday season, especially. So, we're going to keep doing the work. I'll be here basically besides Christmas Day. And even then, I might do a morning stream if I can. That might not be possible with being a parent. So that's my ambition to make content versus what the practicality of it is. We'll see, though. Stuff coming up next week here for sure. I'll see you guys again soon. Enjoy your days. Good luck. And have a great weekend, guys. And catch you soon. Bye-bye.